Hey everybody, Darren with the White Hatter, and welcome back. And you know, we are so happy the RCMP National Youth Services team brought us in to present to, I think it's over 26 schools right across our country in most provinces and territories. I mean, how cool is that? And this is kind of a follow-up to answer, we were just inundated with questions from students across Canada that we just didn't have time during the live event to answer them all. So now we're going to answer them here in a YouTube recorded event. So if we didn't get to your question during the live event, hopefully we're going to get to them here during the YouTube recorded event. So here we go. Let's have a look. So here's the first question that we didn't get to. Has anything bad ever happened to you online? No, nothing bad to me. Now, am I saying that something couldn't happen in the future? It could happen, but we take pretty good precautions from a privacy and security standpoint to help minimize that risk. Next one. Even though you said there isn't one, what do you think the safest social media platform is? Well, you know, Instagram is cool, Snapchat is cool, Discord is cool. I mean, they're all good, right? But it's like I said, it's not the platform, it's not the app. It's how people use the app or platform that makes it good or bad. That's really what it comes down to. What is the percent chance of people our age getting hacked? Threatened example. And how can we make sure it won't happen to us? Yeah, you know, we're seeing it more and more, especially in online gaming when it comes to doxing or swatting events, right? And doxing is basically where they collect your personal information, like your IP address, where you're living, and, you know, start to spread that online. And swatting is where they get your information about where you live, and then they'll phone the local police department and say, hey, listen, we were just walking by your address. We saw somebody in there with what looked like a gun holding family members hostage. So what do the police do? They send their ERT, or they're what are called their SWAT teams. That's why it's called swatting. I think I introduced you in one of the pictures to a teen here in Canada who was arrested, charged, and convicted for doing exactly that. So yeah, we see that kind of taking place, right? How do you get into coding? Really good question. There's a number of really good coding programs available in Canada for young people. Canada Learns Coding is a really good example. If you're interested in looking at a coding program, connect with us via our website, which is www.thewhitehatter.ca. And you'll see there's a contact where you can connect with us directly. And I'd be more than happy to send you some links to reputable coding programs here in Canada that many teens can take right online. Pretty cool, right? Next one. What type of vent do you mean? The Among Us venting or the emoting venting? Emotional. Yeah. Emotional venting. Yeah. Next one. Do you have kids? Yep. Brandon. He's no longer a kid anymore though, right? He's a young adult, right? But yeah, we just had Brandon. So I like to call Brandon my digital Yoda. I'm his digital Padawan. Brandon's good as what it is that he does. He really is. Are there good hackers? Yep, they're called white hat hackers, also known as ethical hackers. In fact, there are university programs and college programs called ethical hacking where they teach you about that. A lot of ethical hackers become what are called pen testers in the industry, pen testers or penetration testers. They work within the security industry where they're hired to make sure that corporations' internets are locked down properly and not vulnerable to being hacked by black hatters. Next one. Is there an app which teens should avoid more than others? Yeah, you know, I kind of mentioned some of like Omegle, Bigo, you know, some of those are the ones that, you know, you got to be very, very careful on those ones. Another one, and unfortunately it's Canadian, Kik. The Kik app. It used to be popular a couple of years ago. It's still being used by teens across Canada. My opinion, there are more pedophiles on Kik than any other app on the market right now. So those are some to be aware of. Does my phone listen to me? If I'm talking about something near my phone, such as a product, the next time I'm on Instagram, there will be an ad for the product. No, yeah, there's been lots of research on this issue. No, they're not. The reason that is happening is because a lot of these social media platforms that you guys are on, their algorithms or artificial intelligence are getting so good about learning about who you are and what you like that they are then posting things that it believes that you say. So a really good example, if you're searching things like Nike in your social media platforms, it's not uncommon very, very quickly that you'll see ads coming your way to Nike, right? So that's why. It's not that your phone is listening to you. It's because of what you're posting into your social media platforms that are being scanned by their algorithms and artificial intelligence. How do I use two authentication without no phone number? You can also send it to an email address as well as an option. And apps as well. So a really good example, LastPass. On LastPass is the one that I recommend as your password locker. It also gives you the ability to do two-factor authentication through LastPass as well. Is TikTok dangerous for us? A great question. We do not recommend TikTok is unique. Most social networks, they feed you information that you want to see, right? You're searching it out. TikTok is different. TikTok feeds information to you based upon what it's learning from you, based upon what it is that you're doing on their platform. So because of that fact, we don't recommend TikTok for those under the age who are 15 and under. We really don't. And the reason why is because it's just too easy for young people to end up going down rabbit holes where all of a sudden you're seeing things that you shouldn't be seeing, right? For sure. So again, that's what we recommend when it comes to TikTok. What are the chances of people logging into my social media? Rare, unless you've been sharing your passwords. Like, it's very common for teens especially to be sharing their passwords with their boyfriends or girlfriends or BFFs, right? And your friend today can be your frenemy tomorrow. So again, this is why the number one way people log into your social media is because you share your passwords with them. This is why you need to treat your passwords like your toothbrush or your underwear. Like I said, right? It's not something we share, and we keep them private, and we change them every so often, which is really, really important. Do you have TikTok? Yes, we do. Little cringy. Is YouTube bad? No. I mean, there's a lot of cool things on YouTube, but again, it's like any other app, right? Like, are there bad things that happen on YouTube? Yeah. Are there good things that happen on YouTube? Yeah. It's not the app. It's not the social network. It's how people use the social network or app. How many people get scammed online? It's becoming a huge issue, right? Like, a lot of online fraudulent crime now is moving online. Why? Because these online criminals know it makes it harder for the police to catch them. So we're seeing this more and more taking place online. Do you have Snapchat? Yep, sure do. Sure do. I love your videos. You're awesome. Tip of my white hat for that comment. Thank you very much. We love what we do, how we do it, and why we do it. If you use a soundboard, what ones do you use? We use Stream Decks, and we have things like the ding. We have things like a warning buzzer. We have all kinds of sounds on our soundboard that we can use, right? It's amazing what Brandon, and we're using Stream Decks to do that for us. If iPhone is safer, then why would you recommend Android phones? Great question. Because the iPhones, they're just too powerful, especially for those who are 15 and under, right? It's like I say, when you're first learning how to drive, do we put you in a $500,000 Ferrari? No, we put you in a cheap rental car or a cheap home car or in a driving educational car, right? So Android phones are great starter phones to start with. Now, you can make Android phones safer by using some specific programs like the Boomerang app to help make them safer. But that's the reason why we recommend an Android phone for younger people over the iPhone. Why are there online predators? Well, because wherever youth are, there are going to be those who want to prey upon teens. This happened pre-internet, right? Like, where did online predators hang out prior to the internet? Well, at arcades, movie theaters, pools, workout, wherever youth hang out, there are going to be those who want to prey upon young people for inappropriate behavior, predation, sexual exploitation. Well, the same thing happens online. Wherever there are young people online, there are going to be those who want to prey upon those kids. And again, the internet gives them more anonymity, right? It makes it harder for people to know who they are. Next one. Any other questions, Brandon? Oh, how many presentations do you do? Lots. This week alone, we have 14 presentations. This month, we have 45 presentations. So we're doing lots. So, if you're a school who really enjoyed today's presentation and you think other schools would like, well, connect with them. Let them know who we are and what we do, and that's what's cool about the White Hat Virtual Studio. We can connect with any school. As long as they have an internet connection, we connect with any school around the world. I mean, Brandon did a presentation to a school in Thailand, right? I mean, how cool is that? So we do lots. Does the White Hatter have an app? Yes, we do. We actually have the White Hatter app that you can find in both the Apple Store and the Android or Google Play Store. And the app is chock-a-block full of resources that teens can turn to in times of trouble where they need help. So maybe they don't want to talk to a parent, a teacher, a caregiver, and they're having issues, be it, suicidal thoughts or ideation, self-harming issues, mental wellness. Maybe they're a student who's LGBTQ plus and being targeted for hate crime. So that app has all kinds of resources that teens can put on their phone where at a push of a button, they can now connect with somebody to help them with a situation they find themselves in. The app also links directly to our social media platforms as well as all our YouTube stuff. And it's free. It costs you nothing. And no, we don't collect any personal information. We pay for everything to be on there. It's our way of saying thank you to schools and teens and parents for bringing us in. And not only are teens downloading it onto their phones, but so are teachers, parents, principals, law enforcement, because it's just chock-a-block full of resources for all kinds of issues that you may need in your life. And although you may not need it, you may know somebody who does. So having it on your device is kind of a cool thing, right? So yeah, we do. So just search it out on the Apple Store. Just type in the White Hatter, and on the Google Play Store as well. Why do you do these video lives? Because it allows us to connect with people. Like we had a school from Newfoundland today, apparently. Like to fly us from Victoria to Newfoundland to do a presentation would be very, very, very expensive. There you go. There's a money shot right there, right? Like all the cash. It would be very expensive, right? So what virtual does, it allows us to present to schools right across the country, right around the world, right? We present in the US a lot as well at a very reasonable rate. Like it's not expensive. Like when we do these virtual presentations at a school, it's $550, right? For a virtual presentation. And we can beam up to 900 classrooms at the same time with no problems whatsoever. I mean, that's what's cool today. Like we presented to over 26 schools right across our country at the same time, right? That's not something you can do when you're doing live in-person presentations. And to be very honest, for schools that have saw us like we did a ton of presentations pre-COVID in person. So we've had a lot of schools have seen us live as well in person. And a lot of those schools are saying to us, both teachers, principals, and the students themselves, that they're digging this virtual way better. Why? Because the student groups are much smaller. Like when we were in schools, we would do huge presentations in auditoriums. Like I was at one school where I had 22 students, high schools, 2,200 high school students. Unbelievable, great presentation. But students are really concerned about asking questions in front of their peer group, right? So doing it virtually, it keeps the classroom smaller, what teachers call cohorts. There's more interaction, more questions being asked, and we can use special effects, right? That you can't do when you're on stage doing live, right? So again, that's what's cool about doing the virtual stuff. There's other advantages as well. How many LGBTQ cases in regards to bullying have you dealt with? Quite a few, actually. Quite a few. So, and we are big supporters, like I say, of LGBTQ plus, sexual orientation and gender identity. And when you're being targeted because you're an LGBTQ and that's the reason you're being targeted, it's actually qualifies as a hate crime. So it's something that can actually be investigated by the police as well. So yeah, no, we, anyways, brutal, right? Brutal. What's your favorite color? Guess. Black and white, right? So that's my favorite color, as you can see. How long have you been doing this job? The company's been around now for 28 years. However, we've been really pushing hard or presenting and dedicating full time to online digital safety and security and privacy, probably for the past 10 years now. So yeah. How do you know if someone is a pedophile? because you won't, right? Like teens, these guys are really good, what we call chameleons. They will pretend to be somebody else because you can't see them, right? So they'll pretend to be somebody else to gain your trust and your cooperation. And then they'll slowly groom you over time to desensitize you, at which time all of a sudden they're now asking you to do things. And because you trust them, because you believe that they're your age, you start doing things in front of your So it's really hard to know if somebody's a pedophile, right? It really is. That's why, understanding their tricks and techniques on how they operate and how they lure young people your age is what's really important. And we also dedicate a whole program for middle school and high school students to that issue as well. I like your hat. Thank you very much. It's called a fedora, also known as a zoot hat. They're not cheap. They're about $300, right? The only problem with a white hat is it gets dirty really quickly. Like you can see some of our older hats on the set behind us. Almost every year we have to buy a new hat because the white hat gets, dirty pretty quickly. Do you guys have YouTube? Sure do. It was in the link that you were watching. But if you just go to YouTube and you type in the White Hatter, you'll see us. And don't forget, when you hit our YouTube channel, don't forget to hit that subscribe button, right? Hit that subscribe button, right? So Brandon and I are going to be doing some really cool video YouTubes over the next couple months during the summer. So check it out. What do you play, Xbox, PlayStation, or PC? Brandon plays all of them. I'm a PC person, but Brandon has all three of them. What is your favorite part of your job? Helping people, right? Like it is unbelievable how many young people, once we present, will connect with us because they have challenges and they need help. And maybe they don't want to talk to their parents or a teacher, but they'll connect with us first. So that's what we really love doing. The other part that I love doing is actually sharing information with young people your age in an open, honest manner. And, also with the understanding that most of you are doing really cool, creative things online. And we older adults, we need to start acknowledging that fact. So, just sharing things online based upon our experience and interacting with young people your age as well, that helps us to understand what it is you guys are doing in your world. Because one of the things that we find is that a lot of parents and educators who are talking about this stuff, they're using information that is so dated, it has no relevancy to where you guys are today. So one of the things that we pride ourselves on is staying current in what it is you guys are doing and where you're going. How do websites take and track, delete videos and stuff like YouTube? There's a variety of different ways that they do that. Again, it would take like an hour, 2 hours to get into it in detail. But again, it is easy to do. And this is why I say to you, no matter what your app, no matter what your social network, no matter what your privacy settings, just understand that as soon as you hit that post button or send button, what you've posted can become public, permanent, searchable, exploitable, copyable, shareable, and for sale. Never, ever, ever forget that fact. Do you have a TikTok? Sure do. We have a TikTok. It's called The White Hatter. You'll see it if you search it. What is the most protected app? There's one out there that we recommend when it comes to messaging app. It's called Kinzoo, Kinzoo. It's a family messaging app. It's really secure. They built it based upon privacy and security as its platform. I know that some schools, youth are using it as their primary app chat amongst one another. Rather than using Messenger or some of the other ones or WhatsApp that is out there, they'll use the Kinzoo app instead to kind of do that. What's one social media platform do you use the most? For me, it's Facebook, because that's where a lot of adults still are for us to share information, and Instagram. Brandon is doing more of the YouTube and Snapchat and TikTok side of things. So should I get into coding? I highly encourage young people, if you're interested, get into coding, because there is no doubt that teens who can code Python, HTML, JavaScript, C++, which is the binary language of the internet, by the time you graduate grade 12, if you can code one or more of those languages, you are setting yourself up for financial success of the future. No doubt about it, right? So yeah, for people who are interested, one of the things I say to young people, why just play a game? Online game, which I do, why not learn how to design the next game that is going to make somebody millions of dollars, right? And that's what coding is, right? Games are designed based upon coding. So why not learn how to code to create your own game, right? Is one of the things I say. Is streaming games on platforms like Twitch safe? Yeah, it's like anything else. It's safer. Nothing is ever 100% safe online. That's a fallacy, right? There is no such thing as privacy online. Fallacy, right? So again, it is safer. It's just if you're on Twitch and you're playing things and you're being appropriate and reasonable in your interactions, then you have nothing to worry about as long as you're not sharing TMI, too much information about yourself that people can take for the purposes of identity theft or maybe to groom you, right? To do things you shouldn't be doing. So those are our top rated questions. Again, I want to thank the RCMP National Youth Services team for having us in. I also want to thank all the schools and the educators who allowed us to stream into your classrooms. If you guys enjoyed what it is we did today, please share it with other schools in your region, in your area. We would love for them to connect with us so that we can share our message across Canada, right? Because knowledge and the understanding and application of that knowledge is power. So thank you very much. I hope you all enjoyed the presentation today. So on behalf of the entire White Hatter team, have a great rest of the week, everybody. Bye now.